Good morning, everybody. Okay with the breakfast? I'm Freddy from the AGFA group, and first of all I would like to introduce, for the people not knowing, the Euro CIO. I'm representing here not just Belgium, because I'm the chairperson of the Belgian network called the CIO Forum Belgian Business, so quite a lot of CIOs in Belgium. But I'm also board member of the Euro CIO, and European CIO Association is covering, and in terms of number of members, we have 450 members. We have a buying power is maybe not the right word, but definitely we have budgets of more than 130 billion euro. So I think if a small percentage goes to cloud, that would be a great success. We have 9 national associations, national bodies, there's national countries making the Euro CIO. So I talk for all of them, and I hope that the messages will be clear and well understood by all of you. So, what are the 3 actions? I think Pilar mentioned that. One was around standards, another one is around contracts, and the third one around the European Cloud Partnership. I will also take, let's say, a moment to refer to some of the experiences we had with the AGFA group, and we can amplify it, as John said, to any other experience with the cloud. But first of all, I think there is a huge need for standards and best practices up to certification of cloud providers. We will not get just a jungle of standards if we don't work on the standards and best practices. We will get a jungle of service providers. Every day they call me as a CIO, as chairperson or as CIO of AGFA, we can provide you cloud. How can I find my way in all these cloud providers? Sometimes 4 people behind it, not big companies, smaller than our SMEs. They're all over the place. How can we trust them? I think John used the word trust. So the first point on standards and best practices is also about confidence. If you talk to these providers, are they really good providers? How can we assess their competences? And I think that's why we say it's more than standards and best practice. It goes up to certification. I'm working in a company, and there's a lot of other healthcare and pharmaceutical companies where you need, for all your medical devices, FDA approval. Now you bring data in the cloud. How can we get FDA approval? Are all these providers FDA approved? So I think it's standards, it's best practices, it goes up to certification, and it's not just a jungle of standards today. I feel it's a jungle of cloud providers. The other thing around the standards and best practice is around data. We as CIOs are responsible for the data, where we put the data for the company, the access controls and the security. The data, the final responsibility is with the owners, with our business. We are like custodians. We keep the data somewhere in a vault, and we try to protect them from hacking and so on. It's another element around these standards and best practices. And last but not least around this is the European laws and the national laws. If we have cloud provided in all the national bodies and in all the countries, and we have to fulfill and to meet specific requirements, let's say, and required by the local and national bodies and countries, that will be really a nightmare for a multinational. Maybe less for the SMEs in a local country, but definitely for the multinationals. So we'll have to work on it. All this is to get more confidence that this will work. And I can tell you, it is being rolled out, and I hear all over the place, cloud one day will be a success, but we will get through the bridge and we will need to get more confidence. The second thing is about the contracts, and definitely there I have an experience. We just signed a contract with a service provider. It took 6 months. I don't feel at ease with the contract. After 6 months of negotiation with legal people, with a lot of people, it was not a standard contract you started with. It was like a one-pager, and then we make now 60 pages. It is an unbelievable story. If cloud is the future, that we have to go from scratch every time again as a CIO, with legal, with HR, with a lot of other bodies locally, work through a contract. And I'm sure this contract is different from the contract of my neighbor who signed the same contract. I think maybe 10 companies in Belgium signed a contract with a service provider. And it's not just the infrastructure, it's about the application, which is of course much tougher. And then I'm saying, what a loss and what a waste if this happens in Belgium, in Europe, in all these countries, to revisit contracts, to put legal people on it. Why not having something much more standard and then build on it? There will be always specifics, but I can't believe that we talk 1 month about availability of the cloud. Is it now 98.9? Is it 97.5? If this is a standard service, then we should have a standard offering and a standard offering. If you want more, a golden service, then of course you change the contract. If you want another contract, but at least where and why we don't have this kind of standard contracts today. Leading up to SLA's penalties, it is an unbelievable story. 6 months, and I tell you, was full time with a lot of people, and I feel not at ease. This is worldwide, of course, this is across the globe, and it is a transactional system with a lot of interfaces with, let's say, systems on-premise. Offline, I can talk more about it, but that's the second point. So we need an environment, a fair environment, where we can get together with the suppliers, where we can develop contracts, the terms and the conditions, which are, let's say, at both sides okay. I think we need to provide that environment for the suppliers to develop new products and services. We're all after that. But secondly, also, we need to be sure that we are not locked in as a customer. I hear Janet saying the lock-in is maybe worked for years, but definitely if you not go just infrastructure but application, you get more and more a lock-in with that supplier, and so the contracts will be very important. The third point, last point, we support that European Cloud Partnership. It's a very good idea. Whether you work on the public side or the private side, all achievements pillar we will get through, and with ETSIs and all the other organizations coordinated. I think if we get to a purchasing environment with public, then definitely we will also get it with private. As I told you, budget-wise, EuroCIO is, let's say, around 130 billion euro. So if we spend 10%, 20% on cloud in the coming years, this will be a lot of the budgets, but also it will foster adoption of cloud, and it will, let's say, a success in the future. Thank you for the invitation, and let's work on standards, best practices. Let's work on these contracts. It is a long way to go. It's definitely, for me, from a CIO, and I hear it all over the place, not professional yet, and we have to work hard. But I think we have the infrastructure in place with the European Commission, all the work groups to get there. Thank you.